killed my people while they were sleeping. Well, look at you, swinging your...
Well then, I may or may not have accidentally read the very brief initial, synopsis. What I know I saw is Negan's name and Gabriel's name, and then I was like, oh, for God's sakes. So I presume today we are diving into what the hell happens with them being trapped where they are. Surely if Negan wanted to get out of there, I'm thinking of worst case scenario. Wouldn't he just kill Gabriel and then pour all the guts all over himself? Then he could just waltz out of there, right? That was just the first thing that came to mind. But then again, if we're going into a deep dive of Negan's character, maybe he would never do that. I've got a weird feeling we're about to get into some real complex parts about his character.
I might die. I very likely will die.
Is that Gabriel?
I'm not asking to live. What I ask for is purpose.
I did briefly think to myself that... Sorry, Gregory. I did briefly think to myself that I wouldn't be surprised if there was some kind of weird arc where Gabriel tries to... how do I describe it? Tries to change Negan. You know how we've been getting all of this group separation in terms of what we believe should happen, whether all the saviors should die, whether only the ones that choose to keep fighting should die, whether what. What I'm worried about now is, what about Negan himself? What happens if we captured him? I feel like someone would just do something, but then you've got to be really careful about what that means going forward. What does that mean for the rest of the saviors? What does that mean for those that were being controlled by Negan? You can't argue either person's right or wrong. It's just I can't even say my stance at this point. My gut says that I stand with Jesus because I believe that we need to form a future. We can't just look at the present, but I understand people that want to just go, the present's all that matters. We can bloody well think of the future when that comes. Anyway, Gregory.
Wakey, wakey, eggs pancakey, Gregory.
Oh, so this is all a flashback.
I told you if things started to feel hinky at the hilltop, to come see me.
And I did, with zero hesitation.
Yeah. You went to the satellite
Not
outpost.
even.
Today's the day, Gregory. You fill your belly up with my love, and then you solve it.
You have to be... I already spoke about this. You have to be semi...
Well, thank you for having me here today.
Gregory does not fit
Let
in
this
here.
down straight for you. I know how it is. Managing resources and the population and the big scary you, which you might know.
Big scary you.
It's called the unknown.
Oh, that reminds me. I needed to say something. There was a scene. This is way off topic, but at one point I was getting incredibly angry at Negan for. There was this thing. What did he say? He said, "No sex at all." At first I thought to myself oh, is this just Negan being selfish and jealous and he can't he's got a fragile ego or what? But then I started thinking to myself, or is this just a very extreme version of you can't risk having children?
I don't like killing people any more than you do. I like killing people. Oh, well, I say it's about killing the right people. So you kill the right people at the right time, everything falls into place.
This is what I meant about
But you kill
my massive
one,
theory.
and you could be saving hundreds more. And that is what we are all about.
I'm gonna grab a smoke.
You don't want to hear this?
Tell me where to go and what to do. I'll make it happen.
Oh. If you haven't seen Beyond the Wall, you need to watch it because holy shoot are these theories firing through my brain right now. That whole line that Negan just said about killing the right people at the right time at the right place and you save lives, right? That if that doesn't feed into my theory even more about what's going to happen to Carl and Judith, I don't even know. Negan has warned Rick time and time and time again, and Rick's compliance is now gone, which means Negan has no reason. There's no reason for Negan to not hurt certain people or not risk breaking Rick or not risk causing the, like, compliance to capitulate? Why would he do that, right, if he had a compliant group that he thought he did? But the minute he lost it, that whole safety bubble disappears, and then the argument changes completely, because then you go from protecting the compliance to protecting, well, basically then you go for the head of the dragon to stop the risk toward your own group, right? And in which case, if you break Rick beyond belief, you're going to think that there's no one to lead this group. You're going to think that the heartbeat of this fight back is gone. And the only way, and I theorize this, the only way I can imagine Rick turning back into that state of complete and utter broken is if Carl dies.
I go to my people and I tell them, if you're joining with this misled crusade, you're no longer citizens of the hilltop. Still their guy.
Look at Simon.
Still listen to you, Gregory.
You see, Negan already knows they don't.
Yeah, I'm still the guy. I've always been the guy.
Yeah,
Huh.
no.
Then why the hell didn't you know about the widow leading an army of your people straight up my ass in Alexandria?
Oh. Gosh, that
You know what I think, Gregory?
face freaks me out.
I think you are a thin-dicked politician threading the needle with your thin dick. Now, is listening to you the right way to go? I wasn't aware of things until they were already in motion. No hesitation.
That look is what freaks me out.
Right there. The whole thing.
I believe you. Now make Negan believe you.
But does he ever though? Because it was weird, because when Negan did come out on that little ledge, it almost felt like he thought this was some... Because you guys would have seen my reaction. I laughed. If you follow this uprising, you will not be a part of Hilltop. Gregory, they don't listen to you. And when Negan brought him out, I was a bit like, really? That's what's up your sleeve?
A thick and veiny show of force surrounding Gregory. When he lays down the law, I think things go back to copacetic.
Is that right? You know what? I'm starting to think that Simon is just a little bit thick, eh?
If they don't, we take a flyer on the place and kill everyone there.
People are the foundation of what we are building here!
Holy shoot, that's the first time I've seen him get, like, angry at Simon.
Who the hell do you think you're talking to? Are you confused about who we are?
Holy shoot.
Are we backsliding, Simon?
I always thought Simon was like his...
Please, tell me we're not backsliding. Plan A is taking Rick, the widow, and King Assface alive and making them dead in a very, very public and instructive way.
Shoot, so the plan was to just
We
kill
kill
them.
the right people in the wrongest way possible, and we make them all watch.
Oh. Plan A, kill them all publicly, make a showing of it to all their people, to hope that their people then comply out of fear, because now it's all about fear. Well, it has kind of always been about fear, but you guys see where I'm coming from. Plan B, if you can't get to them, you can't get to the leaders and you can't kill the leaders, you go for what will break them, so you're essentially killing them, right? Which I think has kind of just happened with the king. Now with Rick, this is exactly my theory. Who do you go for to break Rick the most? Carl. But maybe then plan C would be like, you know, like Thanos? When Thanos' plan was to snap half people away and then watch the Earth sort of become fruitful. And then the plan was to get rid of the people that were stopping that. And then the plan became right at the end, screw you all. I'm going to wipe the entirety of life off this planet and rebuild so they won't ever know what happened. That's kind of the feeling that I'm getting here right now. Does it jump forward now, or do we get the whole chat?
Well, shit.
What do you expect us to just wait for you to then... Oh, Eugene. I still have hope for Eugene. He'll do something, right? So it does jump forward. And this is where we end it.
That's great. This one still has a full clip.
There wasn't any point in firing it. I didn't have enough.
Yeah, but you could have gone down fighting, you big baby. Let's get you properly on your ass.
I actually, you know what? I genuinely want them to have a conversation. The thing is, how the hell do you have a conversation when all you can hear is...
Your friend Rick is an asshole.
It's really not, though.
You're an asshole.
Come on, Gabriel.
Yeah,
At least he's honest.
but he's gonna get people killed.
You pinned us. You have to understand.
I killed the widow's husband and the ginger. But I didn't get them killed. That was your boy Rick.
I mean, I'm sorry, but look, he goes to people and places and communities and then he just puts down a tax. You will pay it or you will face the consequences. You will obey or you will face the consequences. And there's no choice in the matter. It's not like you get to sign your papers and sign your life and be like, oh yeah, I agree with you, Negan. So he can't sit here and be like, oh, that was because of your group. He has to understand at some point that his way of doing things is going to create this kind of issue. Let's just talk about another thing that's happened. Like he'll just rock up to Hilltop and go, oh, Doc, you've been evicted. You now live at the sanctuary. Like, this is all messed up. It's going to create defiance. But it's almost like he doesn't understand why. Or if he does understand why, like, he's just come to terms with that and gone, yeah, I understand why people do it, but that's why. It's like he's created his own loop. And that he's fighting against it, blaming everyone else for this loop of violence. But he created the loop. But it was Rick that did it. No, it was not. You swung the bloody bat. I don't understand the Savior's past, so maybe there's a reason why they got to this point. Why they got to the point where they needed someone to put on a persona of Lucille, mean face, and not really fear of killing people. Almost like he said, he enjoys killing people. I'm not even sure that that's completely true. I think we might find out a bit more about that going forward. I think he needs people to believe that that's something he doesn't mind to do.
What I fear is a fruitless death.
Jesus Christ, you gotta be kidding me.
Maybe this is the reason.
What?
I'm here to take your confession.
See what I mean?
What?
I love this intro theme.
Everyone's dead.
What?
Bullshit. There's no one else? You're the only one? King, you're the X-Man. And this short-haired psycho lady.
Oh, I like that description for
You
Carol.
did this?
My people think I'm dead. A lot of folks gonna die in there.
This is exactly what I'm saying.
I don't have shit to confess. I like to help people through the weaknesses too. Been doing it one way or another my whole life.
It's a bit different though, isn't it?
How do you help
You
me?
want to know why people are gonna start dying in there? Because I'm not there to stop it.
You see, I kind of understood that, and I kind of thought this is what I was talking about. What happens if you take Negan out? Oh, here we go. This is it right now.
We should send the fence crew out. They clear a path, just enough for a small
Inadequate.
team. What?
The numbers you suggest are inadequate.
All we need to do is put you out there, Eugene.
He's right.
You come on.
The workers have the numbers, and we need to keep them on our side.
We need to keep them in line.
Someone in here made everything out there happen. We're having our little crisis management meeting about the rebellion in Alexandria.
Oh, why do I think they're all gonna start
But it's
looking at
not going to
Eugene?
be us. And it doesn't have to be the workers.
Dwight, you gotta face reality here.
No, Simon, we keep what's ours and we don't give up a damn thing. And I don't want to hear backbiting or pissing or moaning from you two.
Yeah.
You can't leave the saviors out of here. I will. Yes.
And we're gonna find that subhuman coward that did this to us, and we're gonna kill him very slowly in front of everyone here.
You
Over
see?
the course of a few very long days.
Of course they're gonna look at. Of course they're gonna look at Eugene.
Today it can be.
I've always felt that Dwight will have a self-sacrificing arc at some point. I said I don't think he's getting out of the Saviors. I think his life will end with them.
You helped the weak before this?
Kids. You don't show them the way, well,
He
they
helped
turn out
kids.
like garbage.
Problem.
Wait a little bit longer. See if my people can pull it together.
You know what? At the end of this, I wouldn't be annoyed at getting a Negan prequel. Seeing how he started. Especially if how he started was decent. And like I said, he's evolved into the character he is now because he feels like it became a necessity to the apocalypse. Because when we first got Negan, it was like, crack! I'm not seeing anything beyond what you've shown me. Nope. So you see the worst of it, right? And you only see red. Now, as the episodes go on, red starts to dilute. I think you would have noticed, like, oh, my anger for him was up here, and my desire to see him for who he was and dig into his character was, like, down here. It's kind of, like, equaled out, so, like, the redness is disappearing and my desires are increasing. Then he does something horrific again, and it splinters again, and now it's coming back down like this again. I wouldn't be surprised if something happens again, and it's like, you know what I mean? Like, it's all over the place.
The last guy that was in charge, he wasn't in charge of shit. He allowed people to be weak.
I was at the satellite station. I was a part of that.
Oh. You killed my people while they were sleeping. Look at you, swinging your dick.
He just, like, the confidence to say that.
Okay.
You don't think you have anything to confess? The people you've killed?
I haven't killed anyone that didn't need it.
What?
The workers you treat like slaves.
It's an economy. Some people win, some people lose.
Carl told us about your wives. Women pressure into marrying you.
Seal, give me strength.
Oh, Gabriel, for the love of... Did he get a gun? Whoa. That's the thing as well, like, you have to be really, really careful because I'm sitting here thinking, like, imagine Gabriel manages to talk him through this, but for me, it almost feels too late, eh? Like, it feels too risky because of the way we've seen him act and the things we've seen him do, and he talks about this being an economy and how no one's actually a slave. Yes, people don't benefit from this, but it's no different to how the world was. I think anyone can understand the thought process of why he's trying to replicate some kind of system, but then any normal person can also see how this system will collapse. But then again, like, I can't blame any leader for getting it wrong because this is the first time they've ever had to do this. I feel like I've done a lot of understanding Negan today, or trying to, but like I said, I think it's almost too risky trying to do that. We've managed to get at least these big boy weapons. Splendid.
We can use these now.
What?
We blow open the sanctuary. Let the walkers flood in. They'll surrender. It'll be done.
Yeah, but all the people, Daryl.
They have workers in there, right?
Here comes the conflict.
Are there?
And I'll repeat for the 100th time, you can't be mad at Daryl for thinking that we just need to get this over with.
There are people in there who aren't fighters. Doing this could change that.
Exactly, we need to think
If
about
saviors
what's
don't
next.
surrender, maybe everyone fights us.
Nah, you ain't doing this.
Oh!
There's a plan.
There's a lot of our people that are dead, Rick.
But don't blame, it's not Rick's
Things
fault.
change, man. It's their fault, not ours.
Daryl, we can't do this.
And we got our own people to look after.
See, that's the view I can't hate.
Not doing this.
Hey,
Please don't
I'm not
fight.
send your choice.
Please just stop it, man. Imagine Negan could see Rick fighting like... Because, you know what? All Negan's really seen of Rick is the worst of it, right? Say Negan witnessed Rick refuse to fight in a certain way. Could you almost think Negan would respect that? I don't know. I can't believe Daryl's even actually... Stop fighting. Your bloody family. See, he helped him anyway. Thank goodness. Well, the guns would have come in handy, but they're destroyed. No one can have them. Bro, is Rick gonna have to jump on the back of Daryl's bike?
There's a plan. Gotta see it through. Chokehold's illegal, asshole.
Yes, it is.
It's like I'm walking.
Yep.
Is he gonna leave Rick, really?
Yeah.
Damn. Well, so Rick's now by himself. Last thing I want.
We have each other. People are a resource. We make it inside. We live.
I'm telling you now, I still think he's gonna gut him. Well, he could just, hold on, he could just use the walker's blood.
Or I can just kill you. But that is not what I want. What I want is for you to work with me.
I don't know if I can trust him, eh? Like his, oh.
I've killed before, but that's not my gravest sin. I locked my congregation out of my church when this all just started. I listened to them die. Now I offer you the assurance of a pardon, penance, and absolution. I will go with you. I will show you that working together as equals is the only true way to grace.
You see, that's the other thing as well that Negan's completely disregarded. The idea of working with groups. You know how what Rick's doing, and then we've got like the Kingdom, Alexandria, Hilltop. You know, you've got people that are working together. Negan's almost like creating one sort of big group and then a hierarchy of others, rather than having a big community. That's the massive difference. I genuinely feel like Gabriel's trying to offer him an opportunity. Negan's not going to take it. Like, he'll consider it, but I just... No.
That is some horrible, cowardly, spineless shit. I guess that's what a confession's supposed to be, right? My first wife was a real wife.
How did she die, though, is my question.
She was sick. And when she went, it was during this. I couldn't put her down.
It's weird seeing him as emotional, eh? But
that is what I will confess.
Sometimes scenes like this remind you that everyone's a human, eh? It's really easy to demonize somebody. I hold my belief that if you can set down all the crap and look at something for, like, at face value for what it is, you start to see people. It's weird seeing him with emotion because, like I say, he always comes across in a very specific way, someone to be fearful of. But that's why it's so hard to think about all these other sides of him, right? And I still believe that he's about to do something terrifying.
You're forgiven.
Thanks. You can keep your gun.
Oh. So maybe I'm...
Sucks, Gabe, but looks like we gotta risk eating it by eating it.
I don't understand.
Maybe I
Never
just...
done this trick with the dust before.
Hmm?
How many people have gotten sick from this?
We're from Georgia.
Look at you lucky shits.
Bro, you know what? I feel almost, like, terrible for, like... I don't even know how to explain it, man. I do hate these kinds of episodes because I don't know how to think about him, eh? You know what, actually? Maybe that's why this episode is called The Big Scary You, The Big Scary Unknown. It just feels so unknown with him because we know very little. I've come to learn there are certain things about Negan which I prefer over the Governor. Like, that's why I always like comparing him to other villains, because I think to myself, I'd rather Negan, if I'm trying to survive and I want the most likelihood, the highest probability of surviving, I'd rather be with Negan because Negan's more predictable, Negan's more survivable, Negan's more this. Like, yes, I think you sacrifice more, but, like, there's a structure to it, and he doesn't do stuff for no reason. Like, he feels like more of a person than... Can I say that? It feels like Negan's lost less touch of reality than the Governor had, but he's still, like, I don't think he does things the right way. Because the other thing we have to be careful to think about as well is, like, even though Negan may in some way, shape or form be considering what Gabriel's saying, we have to remember that we have just destroyed the shit out of his dream, his compound, killed a whole bunch of his people. Like, I don't know how to feel about this episode. It's almost making me uncomfortable because they're helping each other right now. What the hell?
We were due for a delivery today from my place.
You know what it feels like? Have you guys ever heard of the phenomenon called cognitive dissonance? Yeah, there's the state of having inconsistent thoughts, beliefs, or attitudes, especially as related to behavioral decisions and attitude change. Like, that concept, that's what it feels like. Everything I've seen about him and all the hate that is built up and the fear and all of it is like here, right? Think of a big ball. Wibbly wobbly, timey-wimey stuff. That's all the hatred. That's there, that's not gone anywhere. That's Negan, that's the stuff I don't like, right? And then like now, it's like this new little bubble is forming. My attention is like being drawn to it. Like, yeah, that's still there, it's still in my peripheral vision, but I'm being drawn to that little bubble. And that inside that little bubble is who Negan was, the things that he could be, the things that I like about him. Even me going like about him, it's like, the reason I'm doing that is because I'm trying not to say like about him, but then there are things that I do. Can I say that? That's the dissonance right there. But anyway, that ball hasn't gone. So before people come in the comments going, oh, like, damn, like, how can you just disregard what he's done to this person, that person, the other person? That ball is still there. I don't know if that analogy made any sense. Yeah, who knows? Maybe Negan comes round to the idea that we do need to combine and create a thing. But the problem is then, how do you pose that, right? Because I always said this to you guys, that I believe that there needs to be at some point some kind of look to the future. Whether that means with Negan not in charge, Negan dead. I used to say with Negan dead and his leftover saviors, right? We need to have built an image that they want to follow. We need to consider this whole thing. But then there are some people that believe we should extinguish any thought or any connection with the saviors. They should be gone. We should move on and build after that. But that's got its own problems in itself, and that I don't agree with. Can I believe in a way that we build a future even with Negan? I'm not going to say no. I don't know if I can ever forgive him, because every time I look at his face, I see Glenn and Abraham. That's not going to go away. But I can tell you now that I look at Dwight in a different way, even though he killed Denise. Even though he's contributed to everything he's contributed to. I almost root for Dwight. Am I going to sit here and say, nah, that can never change. That's what's completely closed off. I can't say that to you. No, I don't see it possible while all of this is still going on. I don't see it as possible in the near future. There is too much unrest and too much conflict between the groups. Say one of the saviors was to go and kill Carl when these negotiations were happening. That's going to change the argument, right? Because then you're going to lose. Like, then Rick's going to go complete haywire. It's going to be so delicate. So do I think this is going to be smooth sailing and this is going to happen? No. You know, one of our people could kill more saviors. Is Negan just going to allow that? After everything? As much as I might hate the guy, he controls, runs, and he is the reason this group isn't... It's not a great group, but they're still alive. Well, until very recently. Like, he was running it efficiently. Like, do I think that we could just kill Negan and then all these saviors would just jump on our train and just follow Rick? No. So maybe I believe that for this to go forward, all the leaders need to be alive. Maybe that's the only way this works. This is the sort of thing that would take ages to level out. Like I say, I don't think it's going to happen. It's an ideal. If no one else has to die from this point onwards, and that included Negan, I would take it.
What is it?
They're coming up the stairs.
Walkers.
The workers.
Wait, what?
They said we'd have to shoot them.
Wait, what? Whoa!
When you gonna fix the power?
It doesn't need fixing. We're conserving fuel. It's a shared sacrifice.
Oh,
Is it though when we're up
sharing
here?
now.
It ain't no shared sacrifice.
Oh,
see, this is the problem.
that sort of
This is
Tom
why
is
this
not
would
gonna
never work.
Hey, everyone!
You can't run this through
We're gonna
fear.
get through this.
Come on, Dwight.
Okay, we just need some more time.
You protect us. That was the deal. That's how it was supposed to work.
We need water.
Damn.
You have a plan for getting us out? You heard the man. You all need to get back to the factory floor. Where's Negan?
Bro, Negan's gonna rock up.
Is he dead?
Imagine he rocks up and everyone just quiet.
Everyone has to return to the factory floor now.
I'm not going
They
anywhere.
ain't listening to you. Holy
I need to
shoot.
correct you on that point.
Anyone else want a bullet?
You know what's crazy? You see, he's gonna rock up right now and every one of these people are gonna listen. And then she's about to be... I reckon she's about to die. I can tell you now. You see?
Now, why'd you have to go and do that?
It's crazy.
Y'all excuse me, I am in deep need
of a sandwich, a shower, and some of that wilting lion orchid deep tissue shit that Frankie learned in San Francisco. Hell, I might do it all at once. Well, after that, we have some serious business to attend to. Like talking to my right-hand man. You see, we gotta figure out how all this could have happened like it happened.
Oh, snap.
And that is why I am here.
It's like he's given them the perfect way to survive, but the worst way to live.
You take him to number 2, gently.
But isn't that crazy? How, like, bro, Simon's in some deep waters.
We find when the munitions went missing. Through that, we get an idea of the how, which hopefully leads us right to who. But we start when.
Scariest part about it is that, like, they're probably one of the first they're gonna suspect. It can't be real, right? Wait, what? A helicopter? What the hell?
You solve this thing with the bad smelling convention outside, I will make you very, very happy. But even if you try your best, and I know you try your best, but you don't figure something out, I will kill you quickly so you don't have to see all the awful, horrific things that are gonna go down here when we run out of food and water.
Oh.
What I'm saying is that I got your back, either way.
Oh my god, my brain is all over the place. 1 second I'm... I've actually, like, borderline got a mini freaking headache thinking about it. That reminds me, where are the scrap people?
Gabriel. You need to see Dr. Carson 2.0 ASAP.
Oh, is it because of the, Oh, for God's sake.
That's why I'm here. That's the reason I'm here. I think it's... Carson, it's Maggie's doctor. We have to get him out of here.
Is it because of the sickness of people? Oh, for God, bloody hell. Okay, guys, I don't know how long I'm going to make this outro because I kid you not, the recording currently is at 1 hour and 35 minutes. So that's just the episode. So we've gone like half an hour over of chatting. I'm going to try and speak not too much. This episode was really hard to watch with Negan, and I don't know how much I want to go into it. I think the point I want to make, guys, is that I'm very morally conflicted. Very conflicted. Like, there's a dissonance in my brain. Like, I can understand the need for Negan. I think the way I put it in the episode is Negan is almost like a necessity for some of these people to live. It is essential that he lives so that they live. In that necessity, you've lost the reason to live. And I think I've constantly spoken about this, and that's one thing that's prevailed. As much as my opinion of Negan has developed, that's the one thing that's remained, right? You are being stripped of the things worth living for in order to survive. Negan's way of doing things are designed around survival. And I can't sit here and tell you that he doesn't do it to protect these people, because he clearly runs this group for survival. But it's like somewhere along the way, it's gotten lost, and priorities are like... I spoke a while ago about Maslow's and how, like, the need to survive is like one of the most important needs, obviously. Food, water, shelter, blah, blah, blah. All the things that he supplies. But then all those high-level needs that we've come so accustomed to in everyday life, stripped. Well, for most people. The conflict today has been, I can understand the necessity of him being around, especially when they were all sort of arguing in and amongst themselves when he was gone. Like, you saw the chaos start to unfold, and then as soon as he returns, order. But, like, who wants to live their life in that kind of order, structure? I mean, someone clearly loves it. They said, God save you, Negan. I don't know if it's because they're just scared of him. I'm understanding the necessity of him, especially in this kind of group. And then again, the necessity of Negan here may not be the necessity for everyone, and that's where it's gone wrong. Like, there's a necessity for different types of leaders, and there are necessities in different types of things. Like, if you can take all the good from the way Negan runs things, and then all the good from the way Rick runs things, all the good from the way the King runs things and Maggie runs things, you could imagine the perfect leader, right? Someone that's the ability to be everything. It's almost like yes, we've got a very dark corner of what it means to lead, but just because we've seen a dark corner of it doesn't mean some parts of it are desirable. But yeah, that's what this episode has symbolized for me. Learning a bit about his character, the fact that he didn't kill Gabriel, and even though Gabriel attacked him and blah, 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 blah. Like, and I start thinking about maybe there's a way forward when everyone survives, but how do we get there? Is it even possible to get there, or does something happen in the run into that? Did the groups disagree? You know, like, there's a very, very complicated war right now. And that's why war never ends after, like, it's not going to end after a day, because there's so much more to it. And that's the other thing as well. I think Negan has put himself in a bit of a weird pickle. It's like people know they don't like him because they fear him, so they're scared of him, right? So it's almost like they would probably not want him to be their leader, but they want all the good that comes with it: the order, the structure, the safety, the food, the shelter. He's almost like he's a leader, but he's a hated leader, but he's an effective leader. That's just the vibe I get. He's a feared leader but an effective leader. So I don't know if I'd say it's a newfound respect. I wouldn't call it that. But it's like, damn. Like the scene when he rocks in and whistles and they all just kneel. If I didn't really dislike him, like that scene, like that's just a cool bloody scene, hey, isn't it? That's why I talk about the conflict today, is because there are quite a few moments when I was like, damn, like almost like it's almost cool, but then at the same time, like then at the same time as thinking that, I almost feel guilty for thinking that, because I'm going, oh gosh, but think about all the other stuff that he does, or what he's done to Glenn, and the way he thinks about things sometimes I think's just so backwards and blah 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 blah. That's why so this episode I can call it conflicting. But no, it doesn't change anything that I've said before. It's just, it's been a very hard one to react to, because his character is so much more complex than I originally thought, and it only continues to get more complex. This isn't getting any simpler for my brain, and I don't think it is going to get any simpler. It's only going to get more complicated. Maybe we do another Beyond the Wall, because genuinely, like, sometimes I feel like when I do post discussions on episodes, I need probes, or need people to ask me questions, because like I find that I just repeat the same things, or I don't know what I'm saying, or I don't know how to get it out. So this is a good place to be like, oh yep, Beyond the Wall time. So keep an eye out for Beyond the Wall, guys. If you want to ask questions, or you want to create a prompt that my moderators can review and decide whether it's spoiler free or whatever, feel free to do so. I think the only other things I want to talk about is that my theories kind of a little bit went out the window today. Just a little bit. I thought the whole thing, I thought Dwight may have betrayed us, but I think I viewed the whole Negan already knew line as way too literal. You know, I was thinking to myself, oh, who's betrayed us, sort of thing, but it's really not that simple. And the only other thing I want to talk about, guys, is right at the end when Rick's off walking by himself, someone's up with this weird telescopy thing, and it's like there's like a signal. What the hell is that? And who is that? They didn't give me the vibe that they were saviors. And where are the scrap people? What are they called? Where the hell are they? Like, they just disappeared after they betrayed us. Surely they come into it at some point, right? But anyway, maybe we get another group of people that are even more problematic. And like I theorized a long time ago, maybe at some point it comes down to our groups all needing each other. And I'm talking including Negan's group. If we think about this really carefully, right? Negan's outposts have all just been destroyed, most of them. His compound is overrun, and his group has diminished in size significantly. All the threats that we faced, this whole tyrant kind of figure that the saviors were, it's not really the same thing anymore. Yes, there's still a war going on, but you couldn't look at the saviors the same way and go, oh my god, like they outnumber us how many to how many. Like, it feels like the tide has changed quite a bit. Is there gonna at some point become a necessity for all of the groups, for some reason or another, to band together? I don't know. Who knows, man? The show does wild things and wacky things. And the other thing as well is Gabriel being sick. For God's sakes. And Gabriel's got a point. He feels like he's got a purpose. And what is it? What did he say at the end? We need to get the doctor back to Maggie. I genuinely don't know how this goes, eh? Like I said in the reaction, it feels like my view on Negan and like everything is sort of coming together, and I'm feeling the ability to think more. I'm only waiting for the snap again. I don't like watching his character on screen. I genuinely feel like, right, when I watch this for the second time, I think I'm going to find it so much more enjoyable with his scenes. I'm not saying the show in general, because right now I'm engrossed in the plot, right? You know what? This episode was called The Something Unknown. Genuinely, that's how I feel. I feel so unknown going forward. Like, I feel like uneasy as hell, and I cannot give you theories. I cannot predict the next step. Yeah, let's leave that there, guys. This episode is now at 1 hour 45. Holy guacamole. So much for getting this out today. If you enjoyed this video, guys, don't forget to smash the like button and subscribe to the channel for new content every single week. And of course, follow the Instagram, Daniel with 2Ds. Don't forget to be on the wall, guys. Get those questions in as soon as possible. We'll get that up soon after this episode drops, and I hope everyone has a fantastic rest of the week or weekend, whatever it is when you see this. But yeah, that is all from me, guys. As ever, this has been Dan. Thanks for watching, and I'll catch you in the next one. bye.